next generation sequencing. So here is an example of a translocation involving chromosome 15 and 17 in AML case, that is PML and RARA. So when we do a dish, so you can see PML in 15 in green, and then in 17 RARA is in red, and then this is in green color. So ideally we should have 4 signals. But this PML and RARA, these are proto-oncogenes. So when there is a translocation which is happening, these two proto-oncogenes become oncogenes, leading to cancer. Okay. So what you will see when both of them are coming together, then this green and red signal will overlap, giving a yellow color. We call it as a fusion signal. So here you can see these are fused signals. So this is a typical 2 fusion signals, and then one red and one green. Okay, one red and one green. These are the normal signals of chromosome 15 and chromosome 17. Okay, and then because there is a translocation, there are 2 derivative chromosomes, and you can see 2 different fused signals. Right? So this is so. No, I see question mark. So, it's okay. Okay. So, one more question. Did you understand? No, let me clear. I didn't find the face good. Good in the sense like she didn't get it. So, there are 2 chromosomes. Chromosome 15, chromosome 15. Chromosome 17 and chromosome 17. If it was me and this one, what will happen? I will have 2 signals of chromosome 15 in green, 2 signals of chromosome 17 in red, right? But in a patient with AML, there is a translocation which is happening between one chromosome 15 and one chromosome 17, right? एक board लगाओ ना कामले from tomorrow, whiteboard tomorrow. Okay, so there is a normal chromosome 15 and normal chromosome 17. 15 and 17 and 17 and 15. Right? Both of them are coming together. Right? What will happen? Normal chromosome 15 will have green, normal chromosome 17 will have one red signal. So that is what I am showing here. One green and one red. Okay? Then translocated, both the translocated chromosome will have double color. Yes? Did you understand? I do not know your name. Okay? Here? Yeah. Yes. Okay, fine. Yeah. So again, atypical, that means anything can happen in cancer. It is recurrency will be there, recurrent translocations will be there, but it can be like deletion of that particular region or duplication of that particular region also could be possible. So atypical, you can see only one fusion signal, one red and one green. Okay, so that means the other region, whatever is there, that could be deleted, indicating that there is only this particular region. So we have to ideally see the whole field when we are analyzing or when we are capturing these metaphysics or
Yes. So they are not exactly overlapping. They are many side by side, red and green.
If you see an yellow signal, green and yellow make the green and red makes it yellow. If you are seeing an yellow signal, it is a proper fusion of both. If you are seeing signals which are very close by, then it is a fusion. That is also a fusion signal. You can see here. See here, they are together. They are together always. Here also, in between there is yellow, but then you can see red and green. It depends upon the extent of the region which is fused.
So I remember my question. So these blue chromosomes which we are seeing in the background, other than the green and red signals, are they stained with something else to visualize it? They're stained with DAPI in the
talk.
yeah.
So counter stained by DAPI.
DAPI.
Otherwise, you can't see them. No, how do you make chromosomes? Highlight should be there. Then only you can see the things over there. So DAPI is the counter stain which will go and bind to the nucleic acid. It's a nucleic acid. And also tissue fish. So if you see this is a HER2 probe, you can see in a normal tissue, to every cell you can see 2 red, 2 green, 2 red, 2 green. But whereas you come here, this is an abnormal positive tissue, you can see the amplification. All the critical region is red, 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 red. Okay, so this is an amplification, and you can see only 2 greens. this is how even tissue fish also will matter. So fish is very, very important when you are reporting in cancers. So marker chromosome, the other application is in marker chromosome identification. So I told you what is the marker chromosome. So here you can see there is a 11-year-old girl with seizures and the karyotype showed there is a marker chromosome. I could not identify what that particular chromosome is there. So if at all we think that it is something like chromosome 20 or something, it will not be viable because trisomy 20 is not viable. Then we have done fish and you can see chromosome 3 is red in color, chromosome 9 is green in color, and you can see this marker chromosome having one region, P region or a Q region, whatever we do not know. One region as red color and the other region as green color. So this is how you can identify the marker chromosomes also.
Otherwise, in this particular case, chromosome 3 and chromosome 9 are normal, or that marker chromosome has been made from the detachments from that.
So there is one additional test which we have done in between. Can anyone tell what we could have done? Right. Okay. So I didn't highlight this because I'm talking about it. Very good. So we have a marker. So microarray, what is the test? We are going to know the copy number variation. So this is an additional material. Microarray told that it is some part of chromosome 3 and chromosome 9 is missing. So where we have done fish and we can identify it here. So because it is a chromosome thing, because this is a marker chromosome, we could get that picture. But if it is a smaller region which is present as a tandem or in some other part of the chromosome, microarray will tell you that there is a additional part of chromosome 2, let's say for example, but it will not tell the position where it is. Okay, the position will be known only by conventional cytogenetics or by fish.
How beautifully this has formed a typical chromosome-like structure, 3.5 and 3.9, and a single structure is surviving in the cell itself.
Yeah. So this also again, we do not know. Like could be some part could be chromosome 3 and the other part could be whole maybe in P part also there could be 9 and again Q part also of this marker it could be 9. But that information we got only after doing fish. So fish showed very clearly that there is a centromere followed by 9 chromosome and 3 chromosome additional material.
मैम इसमें मेरा एक डाउट है माइक्रो एरे में हमें ये पता चली गया कि मतलब 3 का जेनेटिक मटेरियल है क्रोमोसोम नंबर 3 का और क्रोमोसोम नंबर 9 का एक्स्ट्रा जेनेटिक मटेरियल है तो इससे फिश से हमको क्या एक्स्ट्रा इंफॉर्मेशन मिल रही है इसमें भी तो मैम
कुछ नहीं मिल रहा
तो फिर
but
फिश
no see that's what I'm saying. If karyotyping was not done, okay, if karyotyping was not done, only CMA is done. हमको देखना है ना from where it has come, this 3 region is there and where this, that time we do not know. In microarray it doesn't say that there is a marker chromosome.
नहीं मैम जैसे
No, correct, I understood. See this point, this is only representative purpose I am saying, because when we get something, whatever technology or techniques available, we do it. But as you said, this is an additional thing what we are doing here. One, if a report comes with only microarray and you have an additional chromosomal material from chromosome 3 and chromosome 9, okay, then you need to know where these are present, whether they are present as a tandem on chromosome 3 or as a tandem on chromosome 9, side by side. Okay?
अच्छा तो मतलब उस केस में उन्होंने माइक्रो एरे से पहले कैरियोटाइपिंग नहीं किया था
नहीं किए थे.
And probably also
No, we can. This is my case, so I have done this and then we have done. But ideally, you get because there are lot of reports, where, cases where first tier of testing is CMA. So wherever you get a deletion or a duplication, you should go ahead and you have to confirm, right, where it is present. The position will not be known by CMA. That is a limitation of CMA. So the position will be known either by karyotyping or by fish.
But which probe to use in fish? we could get that information from the
Only
CMA
from
results.
CMA results.
Because otherwise you keep on testing
No.
for all the probes.
How will you do? There is one test where we can do. Can anyone tell what is that test without CMA? I have a microarray. I have a karyotyping result here. There is a marker. What is that other test which I can do without CMA? And pardon? We can do, but that I'm saying in don't talk about advanced technique. So what is that we can do?
NGS.
Everything NGS is not the end result, right? So for such a big marker, you'll do NGS. So what will you do? There is something called as spectral karyotyping. So spectral karyotyping or SKY. So all 24 chromosomes, 22 autosomes X and Y will all be colored in different colors. So that will tell you what this is. One test will help you out. So depending upon what is the availability of the probes you are having and availability of the techniques in your lab, you can go ahead and do those particular techniques to resolve the case.
Can there be a balance stealing with the chromosome?
Marker is part of a chromosome.
Can there be something missing here which is formed the marker?
That will be deletion and coming, no? So usually those are supernumerary marker chromosomes are something different when compared to a additional or a deletion material which are present within a chromosome. So we call supernumerary because there will be more than 46 chromosomes. So those are, there are cases where there are 49 number also with so many marker chromosomes, 3 or 4 also.
So this in this case it was a is it a mosaic situation or it is a throughout the genome it is there throughout all the metaphases, or just I wanted to know what is the clinical implications in those cases where you have such a chromosomal structure
So
which is
I basically don't remember. It could be mosaic also, but maybe you can get back to me. I will
Maybe
just
in general if I ask with your experience
anything can be there.
It can be there
It can
and-
be mosaic. It can be normal also. Normal also marker chromosome. There are
And
people who are
also-
surviving with
so
marker.
this particular type of marker chromosome is coming after the duplication of those regions or the
Correct.
deletions of the
Correct.
what
After
you get
the-
in the CM
After the
duplication.
so then fish in mapping studies. So this is a 2-year-old girl with seizures and intellectual disability who have come to our clinic. And what we have seen a karyotype of 46XX with a translocation X and 20. So we have also done fish whole chromosome. You can see normal X, normal 20, and these two are the derivative X and 20. So how did we do that? So prior to our genome, human genome project, earlier the traditional way of identifying base pairs or identifying a particular gene or something is done called as physical mapping. So this physical mapping is done by fish probes. So all of you might know that human genome project, it has almost taken like 13 to 14 years, and all the genome is put or it's cloned into something called as bacterial artificial chromosome and yeast artificial chromosomes. Okay, these are vectors. So in a big vectors they were stored, and all genome is there, and we can pick out now what we want, which region we want, and then we can work with that. So that is how earlier they were doing. So human genome project, it has taken 13 years. Now what is that? How much time will it take to do a whole genome? Human genome project involving only 5 individuals genome combined, and then we have done. Now you can do it in 48 hours. You can sequence in 48 hours, and then you analyze. You can do the whole genome sequencing. So this is a fish which can be also used in these mapping studies. So what we have done in this case is, this is a derivative chromosome X and derivative chromosome 20. All these boxes which I am showing, these are the back clones. So back clone, as I told you, bacterial artificial chromosome. This is a clone, this is a vector which can hold up to 300 kb insert size. Okay, so these are stored and you can get them based upon the position and you can do a fish. So if you see, these are almost like 30 to 40 bacterial bags we have worked with, and we have identified a split signal. What is a split signal? That means we are taking, this is a bigger region, right? This is a breakpoint. What is our main aim is we have to narrow down and come nearer to the breakpoint. Reason because we should know what is present in that breakpoint. What are the base pairs which are there and what is the extent of the breakpoint. Where is the start of that chromosome and where is the stop of the other chromosome. That is what is our interest, right? So to identify that, we work with lot of back clones, and say for example we identified some back clones. We are taking some back clones, all these back clones on chromosome X. So when, if the signals are present on X, that means that particular region is present on X chromosome. And if that region is not present on X chromosome, and that same region if you are seeing on chromosome 20, that means it is translocated. So likewise you come, it is called as chromosome walking. You come here and there will be a position where there will be a split signal. What is a split signal? On chromosome X, you are taking one fish probe, and when you do a fish, when the signal, half of the signals are present on chromosome X and other half of the chromosomes are present on chromosome 20, that is called as a split signal. That means the breakpoint is close by. Understood? So that is how the mapping studies takes place. Any questions? So then we could identify, and what can we do? We can narrow down the breakpoint approximately to 300 kb, which will be the size of the bacteria. Only that we can do. Later again you have to come and you have to do a PCR and identify that particular region and sequence that and go ahead and identify the sequences which are present in that region. So this is the pre-genomic thing what we were doing. And some of the illustrated cases I'll show you. This is a 16-month-old boy with delayed milestone with 45X in 22Ps, and we have done AG and OR staining because it is 22 is an acrocentric chromosome, and we have found that it is a P plus region. That means there is an additional region, euchromatic region, and then we have done fish with Y chromosome. See, this is the region which is there, 22P plus. NOR showed that it is not an acrocentric region, it is a euchromatic region. So because the Y is present here, then we have done a whole chromosome paint using Y with 22. You can see that this derivative chromosome is nothing but Y is going and sitting over 22. That is why making him 45, and he was normal. Okay, this simple technique of fish has led to whole chromosome paint, has led to the identification of this particular case. And the second case, there is a 12-year-old girl with short stature. Karyotype has revealed that there is an additional region. Okay, so there is an additional region on chromosome 12 here. On chromosome 12, additional part. So to know this additional part, what we have done a whole chromosome paint. And then here you can see this is a normal chromosome, 12 here, and then this is a derivative 12. But to our surprise, what we have seen, there are signals which are found on chromosome 1. So usually fish is a confirmatory technique, but here fish has become a diagnostic technique in this particular case, because whatever that additional material is there, we identified that this is a translocation which is involving chromosome 12 and 1. So sometimes your test also will give you some additional information.
Ma'am, how did you say this is a chromosome 1?
So someone has asked me morning. So see, this is two things: biggest chromosome, and second thing is there is a big chunk of heterochromatin region here, and I know that heterochromatin region is towards the Q region, so I know that that is a P region. Okay, So the third case is a 7-year-old boy with ambiguous genitalia and short stature. So you can see here normal chromosome number was there, that means 46. And then small y, you can see a very small y over here. And additional material was present on this 15 page. So here there is an additional material, right? So now what will we do? Additional material on 15 chromosome. We ideally will go ahead for doing one test. What is that? AGNO1. That also we can do. Okay, and that test showed that it is a positive for a euchromatic region, and then parental karyotype we always do when there is an abnormality, it was normal. So it's a renewal case. So here what we have done fish with WCB chromosome 15 and also chromosome 5. But unfortunately, like we have only red color, so we could not see the difference in these two colors. So we have done, and you can see that there is a Kamle battery lagao na. So there is, this is a normal 15 and this is y, and here this is a derivative. So two things, it could be a duplication of 15 or it could be a y chromosome also on sitting on that. Then what we have done to support that, we have taken centromere probe and we have done the centromere y, x and y. Okay, so if you see the centromere, so this is y centromere, this is an x here, and y there is one red signal, that means y centromere is present, and also on chromosome 15, derivative 15, you can see one more red signal. That means two red signals we had. What does that infer? That means either two y's are there or this Y chromosome is split into, the centromere of Y chromosome might be split into two parts.
And one is attached to the 15.
Okay. So then what we have done is, we wanted to see SRY. We wanted to see SRY region. So this is the SRY. SRY is the sex reversal region on Y chromosome, so which defines the maleness. And then, to our surprise, we have seen both SRY regions on derivative chromosome as well as on the small y. Two centromeres and two SRY regions. Then we had a list of all these backbones. Okay, these are position specific. So on P region we have taken 3 clones, and again on Q region we have taken 5 clones, and then we have done a fish. So when a fish was done, we have seen that all the probes which are present on the P region were all duplicated. Okay, and the probes which are present on the Q region were all deleted. So this had given us that this is a YQ deletion, there is a YQ deletion and YP duplication, and this is shown in the form of a translocation involving chromosome Y and 15. So the complexity of this case is revealed by doing totally this characterizing by fish. Okay, we have used the commercially available fish probes as well as we made our own fish probes, and we have analyzed this case. So this is how you can identify and characterize any complex cases. So case 4, 27-year-old with recurrent miscarriages in Y, and here there is a marker chromosome. Okay, so a person who is working and then who walks into the clinic, and then something additional material is there, first thing we should think is that he will not have any clinical phenotype. So you should not consider him as having a disease, because not having children is not a disease. Okay, so he is fine. So then you should think what could be that additional marker. If there is an additional euchromatin region, you should think out of your box. If there is a euchromatin region and he is normal, you should think that could be some polymorphic person sitting there. Okay, so what we have done, we have thought that we will do, because it is showing so dark, so we have done a C banding, and C banding showed us that it is a big heterochromatin region which is sitting. Then we have gone ahead and we have done this AGNOR staining here. you can see there are two satellites on either sides. So this has showed that that is a region which is having a centromere alpha satellites and then beta satellites of the acrocentric region, right? Then further we have done fish in this case. So what we have done? We have used some centromeres. We have started, and luckily the first thing we have done is we had a centromere with common 14 and 22, and when we have done a fish, we have seen that particular marker showed a very big signal of chromosome 22, and this we have supported by WCT fish. Okay, chromosome 22. So normal chromosome 22. These two are normal chromosome 22, and here you can see the addition of this centromere which is present of 22. So now we know that it is not 14, it is only 22 centromere. Then we have done the acrocentric probe. So acrocentric probes, all the 10 acrocentric chromosomes, they will be showing signals. And here you can see that there is here. This is a marker. You can see both on top and bottom two red signals are. So this is a bisatellited marker chromosome. Bisatellited, having satellites on both the regions. And then we have done a merge of both ACP, centromere, as well as acrocentric. You can very clearly see that this is a centromere region and this is an acrocentric region. Now we are very clear that that is nothing to do, it is only a polymorphism. But one thing we have to rule out, because it is from chromosome 22, we wanted to check whether there could be any euchromatic region which is there of 22. So we got the nearest clone starting from just below the centromere, and we have done a fish and it showed no signal. That means there is no euchromatic region which is present. So this case is solved. So we know that this is a marker which is comprising only of a centromere 22 and then with the satellites. And the last case, this is a 9-year-old girl with myopathy and limb anomalies. Okay, so what happened here? There is a translocation which is involving chromosome 2 and chromosome 22. So here we have done fish here, and we have also done physical mapping, lot of physical mapping, and we have also got the split signal. You can see that this is a normal chromosome 2, and you can see two signals which are split on derivative 22 and derivative 2, right? We could not find any genes which are present in that region in this case, and there is a severe phenotype, okay, myopathy with limb abnormalities. Then, seeing that we could not get anything, we have done a targeted resequencing, and to our surprise, what we have identified is a homologous T-based insertion in exon 26 of the COL6A2 gene. So this is a case of Ullrich myopathy, autosomal recessive Ullrich myopathy. Why I showed this case is we have done the physical mapping taking almost 2 years. We could identify nothing, but just because of the phenotype, we have just done a targeted sequencing. Within 15 days, we could get this. So, and it is on a different chromosome. What is that balanced translocation which is there? Chromosome 2 and 22, and the homozygous T insertion we got on chromosome 20. So, sometimes there will be a double accidents which will happen. So, chromosome translocation is a one accident, and this is what is causing her the phenotype. So, this is what you have to solve. So, what are the limitations of fish? They are target specific. If you don't know what you have to do, there is no point, like you can't identify what fish you have to do. And then probes are expensive, so you should really think what you are doing. Almost like one probe takes 5,000 rupees. So you should be judicious in identifying, or you are targeting. If you are pretty sure that okay, this is going to be, then you can do it. So the general recommendations of reporting interface cells, 50 has to be counted for constitutive anomalies and 100 for mosaic cells, and for hematological or other malignancy, 200 cells, interface cells, and mosaicism, 500 cells. Okay, and in metaphase fish like trisomy or structural abnormalities, if you have in 2 metaphases, and in monosomy 3 metaphases, that is more than enough. So you need not go and check for 50 or 100 or 200 cells. So reporting, how do you report? 46 XS, XL. If you have done a karyotype, so first you should write a karyotype, then ISH, this is in situ hybridization, and you write that particular probe, and if it is into 2 means 2 signals are there, that is a normal condition. Okay, it's a DeJonge probe. And second, like if you have a deletion, then you can specify a deletion, -6, what is a deletion here. So this is a deletion. So if you are doing only fish, you are not doing any other test, chromosome anomaly or chromosome cytogenetics, then you can just start off with ISH. That means only that particular fish is done. And the other thing is, if there is a marker and you are doing a fish, you can just write WCP 17+. The whole chromosome is X+. And if you are reporting in interface cells, okay, then you can write NUC ISH 21. So NUC is nucleus, and then with in situ hybridization. So this is some, maybe in your manual, workshop manual, you can see we have given it clearly. So to conclude, fish is used to confirm the cytogenetic anomalies, but then sometimes, as I showed you, diagnostic technique in mostly in hematological malignancies, and a few constitutive cases like how I have shown, and characterizing of complex cases can also be done using fish. And it is always very interesting to study cases, as each case is a potential material for understanding our genomic alternation leading to diseases. So that is why it can be studied. So I would like to acknowledge CDFT for grant and Professor Huntsman. He was my mentor in Germany, and he has passed away.